Kaylee, what do we got up next?
Next up is our Mint Mobile hotline question of the day. If you have a question and want to let your voice be heard on the show, go ahead and call the number on the screen. The number is 951-268-4259. And today our viewer is asking about AMC losing millions of dollars this past quarter.
Hey guys, I'm calling from California. I just saw a report that says that AMC lost about $270 million in this past quarter. And I myself work at a movie theater that's a smaller chain, but I know that my theater is losing about $70,000 a month these past few months when it's been slow. I'm wondering, do you think that this is just a slow period and we're going to recover from it? Or could this be something that has some long-lasting effects like the pandemic slowness had on the theater industry? Let me know what you think. Thanks.
All right, I recognize that voice. Adam Aaron, you can't hide that from me. I don't know, John, do you think, have I screwed things up enough? Anyway.
But the meme stock.
The meme stock. Adam Aaron's the CEO of AMC Theaters. Listen, that is a great question. That was a startling number, but a not surprising number to see that AMC lost $270 million. And I can't even blame it on the, buffoon-like incompetence of Adam Aaron, who is the CEO of AMC Theater. I can't even blame it on him because it's not even him. When we've talked about this a lot in the last couple of months, you got to go all the way back to July since we've actually had a major tentpole film. I mean, Black Adam opened up. It didn't have the legs that a lot of people were kind of hoping it would have, but still, Black Adam opened. But that is a large window. And listen, it has nothing to do with comic book movies. Hollywood and the theater industry has always relied on the big blockbusters to fuel people coming in to see even the smaller films, right? That's always been the pattern, at least going back to the days of Jaws. That's kind of been the theatrical pattern. The bigger blockbusters, whatever kind of blockbusters they are, they drive people to the theaters, get people more into the movies. They go to some of the smaller films. There's a bit of a, even though I hate this phrase, there's a bit of a trickle-down effect when it comes to that. And we have literally gone months and months with zero high-profile tentpole films. We've talked a lot. It was like the second pandemic Hollywood has been for the movie theaters. There's just been no product going to the theaters. And so, not surprisingly, this quarter, the theaters have struggled, no doubt. I don't believe that has anything to do with, viewer behavior patterns or any systemic kind of issues we can see with movie going or any stuff like that. Like, I remember, in the heart of the pandemic, everybody wrote off that movie going was dead. And then as soon as movies came back, guess what? Some pretty big freaking numbers started to get thrown up there. But now we've gone months without anything legitimate. To be honest with you, I really don't see this drought continuing much longer. We got Black Panther Wakanda Forever coming, whether it makes 150 million or 200 million at the box office. Shortly thereafter, we got Avatar coming out. But here's the more important part, even more important than Wakanda Forever and Avatar, is that we sat down a while ago and we looked at the release schedule in 2023.
Oh,
it's packed. There's a lot of content. Like, it's hard to be, really successful as a vegetable stand if you simply have no vegetables to sell. And that is essentially the situation with the movie theaters right now. But the vegetables are coming. There's my new meme. The vegetables are coming. There is a lot of stuff, both in the big comic book genre and the non-comic book genre. There's some big, exciting looking films coming in 2023. And again, those are going to then fuel movie going as a whole. That's going to help the smaller films and stuff like that. And by the way, even in this lull, some smaller films like Smile, whoever would have thought Smile was going to crack $200 million? Nobody thought that. And so, like, we had
that film made sure that the losses weren't as big as they could have been.
With such a small budget. Also, one of the most brilliant viral marketing campaigns. You guys remember this for Smile? They actually hired actors to go to buy seats at Major League Baseball games behind home plate so the camera would see them, and they would just sit there.
They were so still, I thought they were cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, they would just sit there and hold this, and that was just viral, cheap marketing, right? They paid $300 for that seat for the actor to sit in, and it got national attention. Anyway, so there, that's it. Oh my God, that was crazy. And it worked. It worked. So there have, even in this dry desert of no content, there have been little buckets of big wins that to me say that once you start peppering in the bigger tentpole projects, the higher profile projects, it's going to be well. So I would say for your theater chain that's losing, what did they say, 70,000 a month?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's jaw-dropping kind of money. But I would say, I think the rain is coming. I think the rain is coming, and it's going to start with a downpour this weekend with Black Panther. So what I don't want to have happen, I remember when Spider-Man No Way Home came out, first big, huge movie in the post-pandemic era, and all the movie theaters ran out of straws. They ran out of cups. I mean, that was partially due to a supply chain issue, but also partially due to the fact that they just weren't prepared. So I hope the theater's more prepared this time. Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month. And now for the plot twist. I'm just kidding. There isn't one. Mint Mobile just has premium wireless from $15 a month. There's no trapping you into a 2-year contract or opening the bill to find all these crazy fees. There's no luring you in with free subscriptions to streaming services that you'll forget to cancel and be charged full price for. With my old wireless provider, every month when I opened the bill, it was like playing roulette. I never knew how big the bill was going to be, and it always seemed to get bigger. With Mint Mobile, it's totally different. I know exactly how little I'm paying every month, and there's never any surprises. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or a family. And at Mint Mobile, families start at just 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And guys, you get to use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. So transferring over couldn't be easier. So to get premium wireless from just $15 a month and no unexpected plot twists, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. You'll make your wallet very happy at mintmobile.com/Campea. Anyway, Chris, AMC Theaters posts a $270 million loss. There's no meme stock here to save Adam Aaron from that. But even I have to admit, this isn't Adam Aaron's fault. What do you think? Do you think there are some systemic issues here, or do you think this is something that simply the release of product might actually help?
I mean, I do think this is something where he was just coasting for so long on the meme stock and letting that carry him. I mean, just today, the stock has dropped itself too by 9%.
Yeah.
So they are not doing well. We've talked about this with other theater chains before too, like Regal, who's, obviously been in real hot water after declaring bankruptcy and everything.
Filed for chapter 11. They've had to shut down a number of their theaters.
A lot of these theaters, having movies there isn't enough. Right? You have to create an experience there. That's why so many movie theaters now have really great food.
David Letterman.
There we go. Hey, bud. We have movie theaters now have bars. We've got MacGuffins at AMC, right? We have sometimes there's special release food that comes with things. I think we need to get back into doing things that are, like Spectre at a film, right? We need to have events at these theaters because going to see a movie isn't enough when you have so much stuff streaming. And so many of us are so content and cozy staying home these days, especially when so many films are doing the day and date release on the same time, right? So you really have to make going to the movies much more exciting. And if you're a family too, going to see a movie is a big financial decision. Mm-hmm. Tickets, food, getting a babysitter maybe if you don't want to bring all the kids. That's a lot of money to go see something that might be mediocre. Whereas if you stay at home and watch something on Netflix, no harm, no foul, you might just lose 2 hours of your life.
Rob?
John, well, I read an article. First of all, there are a couple of things. AMC has partnered up with Zoom. Did you read this?
No, I did not.
AMC is partnered up with Zoom where you can go to a theater and do a Zoom call. Like they're putting in technology.
What?
I'm not kidding.
Doesn't every phone already have Zoom?
Yes.
What are they going to put in phone booths?
I just read that this week. They're looking for ways to diversify. To me, that's going a little far. But what somebody said, I don't know if it was Adam Aaron, but the executive was also saying that there just aren't that many movies. But what's really interesting? It's not even just the movies. It's the fact that the tentpole properties are the only movies that can spend enough money on marketing to reach the great numbers of people to get them to go to the films. I mean, we've had some pretty great horror. We didn't just get Smile. We got Barbarian, which on a $4.5 million spend made $40 million, which is very profitable for that movie. People like that film, but not a lot of people knew it was there. And it had a great, that movie had a great marketing campaign, but it can't reach enough people because a small movie like Barbarian, they're not going to spend $50 million to market it. So I think, and I don't know the response or how to do this, but we've had a lot of really interesting smaller films in theaters but nobody knows they're there.
And yet some of them still manage to do pretty well.
Well, I think the horror, like I think Smile. I mean, that had a great ad campaign, and it started out. That started out a ways out. Smile. They've been advertising it for a ways out, and they made their money. And I think that they really have to, especially studios, if you want to keep you have to market your movies in interesting ways that aren't just your tentpole movies. You've got to figure out, because Barbarian was a Fox, it was a holdover from Fox. So that was actually a Disney movie. And they had a great ad campaign for it. I just don't think it was seen by a lot of people.
Well, that kind of doubles down on what we were talking about before about why the tent poles are so important. Because I remember I was talking to a studio exec who said still the number one, this is going to be really surprising. It surprised me. The number one first awareness click, like when an average film goer first becomes aware of a movie, is actually in a movie theater. It's the in-theater marketing. That when people are in theaters and they walk by this big standee of this one movie, it's like, oh, I know, like, what's this? And they see all the posters on the wall as they're standing there. There you go. Yeah, when you're doing the whole walk like she is there,
Damn,
that's
cute.
That's how most people get their first exposure. Average moviegoers, not those of us who travel in the online movie circles. But they're standing in line at the concessions to see that poster on the wall, that stuff, and then they go into the movie theater and they play the 75 fucking trailers, all that kind of stuff. That's first thing. And if you don't have those tentpole films to bring those average moviegoers into in there, they're not getting that first exposure to those movies either. So it's this whole kind of domino effect that we're getting, and that's why I think as we get into 2023. You're going to start to see some pretty positive numbers.
Yeah, I think so too. I just think that movie marketing, I mean, you've got studios who are now hiring TikTokers to make content. I really think that studio marketing needs to become a little bit more innovative, whether it's like what they did with Smile. They did a great trailer. The trailer was a Justin Long in Barbarian.
Yeah, that was a great trailer.
It was like the wacky comedy film. That was really interesting, but they've got to break out and figure out new ways to market smaller titles to get them in. Mm-hmm. I mean, hopefully the Fabelmans does well, because I'm seeing a lot of marketing for that. A lot of, and I'm hoping that's another movie. My mom's like, do you know Steven Spielberg has a new movie coming out? I'm like, Mom, how'd you know that? Well, I saw it an ad on General Hospital. I'm like, what?
Yep, that's the audience they're pretty much reaching out to for that one. I know. Anyway, guys, question is for you. AMC loses $270 million this quarter. The smaller theater chains are struggling too. Do you think there's a wider systemic problem? Do you think it's as what I think it is? There's just been no product to sell or something to attract the audiences in. What do you guys think? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there.